The objective of the labor inspection is to further strengthen the implementation of the visitorial and enforcement powers under the Labor Code as renumbered, towards securing a higher level of compliance with labor laws and standards and ensuring continuity and sustainability of compliance at workplaces. For this purpose, the Department of Labor and Employment delegates this function to the regional offices with the issuance of a list of labor inspectors who are given the authority of conduct inspection, which covers all private establishments, including their branches and workplaces in the regions. The regional offices enforce labor laws and social legislation through the conduct of labor inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, and technical and advisory visit. Special inspections may be conducted as may be deemed necessary. With the provision for mobile devices and gadgets, the DOLE developed an inspection management information system. An important feature of the system is data capture and transmittal from the field in real time, as an electronic checklist is filled up through the use of mobile devices and gadgets. Data are instantly available for viewing and processing to generate reports, statistics, and summons, including real-time monitoring of decent work indicators based on the country's decent work profile. The TAV, or Technical and Advisory Visit, aims to provide assistance to the micro-establishments, or establishments that have 1 to 9 employees, to be sustainable, productive, and competitive. It also aims to transition our micro-establishments to the formal economy that is profitable, while also complying with our labor laws and occupational safety and health standards. There are different ways or modalities to avail TAV. First is the online method. Establishments can enroll in self-paced technical and advisory modules through our learning management system. For establishments that opted to go with online, they must accomplish the modules within 1 month from the time they registered. Second is on-site. The DOLE regional, field, and provincial offices conduct on-site or face-to-face orientation for the technical and advisory services, wherein micro-establishments are invited to attend. Third is hybrid setup. Establishments can enroll in on-site sessions and attend virtual meetings or webinars using various online platforms like MS Teams, Viber, Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet.
Establishment owners carry a big responsibility to comply with labor laws, including submitting reports and providing documents like payroll records during inspections. But the manual filing process is a major challenge. They need to spend time, money, and effort to fill out forms and deliver them to the DOLE office, often dealing with traffic and delays. Sometimes, there's a long wait just to confirm if the report is accurate and complete. And it's not just employers facing difficulties. DOLE employees also struggle with limited manpower and the time-consuming task of reviewing and processing these reports. The time has come for change. What's required now is a more innovative, streamlined, and efficient process for handling compliance reports. One that will simplify life not just for businesses but also for DOLE employees. Welcome to the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, your all-in-one platform for seamless compliance submissions, designed to make compliance easier and more convenient for establishment owners. Telecommuting reports? Flexible work arrangement submissions? Reporting the 13th month pay? No problem. Even work accident or illness reports and the annual establishment report on wages, everything you need is now in one convenient portal. Plus, the online compliance portal now includes the latest requirement for reporting movie and television shoots under Department Order 246, Series of 2024. All your compliance needs in one place. Quick, secure, and hassle-free. With the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, registering your establishment is a breeze. Our automatic registration system ensures you are instantly compliant with OSH Standard Rule 1020. Once submitted, your certificate of registration is immediately available for download, saving you time and effort. Need to manage your workforce details? The portal allows you to upload your employees' names and details using a CSV template. Once uploaded, these details are readily available for reports like the Flexible Work Arrangement Report, where selecting affected employees is as easy as a click. If your establishment has been flagged for non-compliance during labor inspection, don't worry. Required documents can be submitted quickly and conveniently. And if you're missing certain policies, like a mental health program or OSH program, we've got you covered with downloadable templates. Submit these documents directly through the portal, where Dole inspectors will review, provide feedback, and keep you on track for compliance. With admin access on the Dole Compliance Portal, labor inspectors can easily review submitted reports and documents from establishments. If further verification is needed, they can schedule an online meeting through Google Meet, all within the portal. This streamlines compliance checks, saving time and making the process more efficient for everyone. It's a smarter, more efficient way to stay compliant and keep your business running smoothly. Welcome to a new era of compliance, simplified, fast, and effective with the Dole Online Compliance Portal.
Good afternoon po. Isang malusog at ligtas na hapon sa ating lahat. Welcome po sa Webinar Wednesdays hatid sa atin ng DOLE at hosted ng Bureau of Working Conditions. I am Dr. Sheila Fortin Faborada and I will be your host for today's webinar. May idea po ba kayo kung ano po ang topic natin ngayong hapon? Taon-taon, tuwing March 24, ay ating ipinagdiriwang ang World TB Day. Dahil ito ang araw na natuklasan ni Dr. Robert Koch ang bakterya na nagkokos ng TB. Ito ang Mycobacterium tuberculosis. TB remains one of the world's deadliest infectious diseases, with 10.8 million people falling ill and 1.25 million deaths in 2023 alone. Since the year 2000, global efforts have saved approximately 79 million lives through early detection and treatment. Ang layunin ng pagdiriwang ng World TB Day ay upang maipaalam sa lahat ang tungkol sa TB epidemic at kung ano ang mga initiatives na ginagawa hindi lang ng ating gobyerno kundi ng iba't ibang bansa at mga sektor upang tuluyan ng ma-eradicate o mawala ang nasabing sakit. The World Tuberculosis Day is observed annually on March 24 to raise awareness about the devastating health, social, and economic consequences of TB and to step up efforts to end the global TB epidemic. The WHO's theme for the World TB Day of 2025 is Yes, we can end TB. Commit, invest, deliver. Emphasizing the need for sustained commitment, financial investment, and effective delivery of interventions critical to TB prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and care. Sa Pilipinas, nananatiling isang mahalagang isyong pangkalusugan ng publiko ang tuberculosis. Patuloy pa rin na ipinatutupad ng DOH ang National Tuberculosis Program na naglalayong pababain ang bilang ng mga kaso at pagkamatay dahil sa TB sa pamamagitan ng maagang pagsusuri, wastong gamutan, at mga hakbang sa pagpigil ng sakit. Napakahalaga ng pakikiisa ng mga komunidad at lokal na pamahalaan upang makamit ang mga layuning ito. At bilang pakikiisa ng DOLE Bureau of Working Conditions sa mga layunin ng 2025 World TB Day, ang topic natin ngayong hapon ay ang tuberculosis in the workplace. Before we begin the webinar, may we ask for the Lord's guidance and blessing.
Let us bow our head and put ourselves in the holiness of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear Almighty and ever-loving God, we glorify and thank your name. You have showered us with so much blessings, and your presence continuously reminds us of your faithfulness and guidance. May we humbly ask you to shower our speaker today of your greatest inspiration, so that he may share the most of his knowledge, his field of expertise, and to his respective topics. May we also absorb the invaluable knowledge, experiences, and put it into practice that we may learn today. Your infinite blessing would mean the success of this webinar. May we be a living witnesses of your genuine love through the enactment of the knowledge acquired through this activity. We ask this in the name of your Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Good afternoon po ulit at welcome po sa Season 3, Episode 9 of Webinar Wednesdays. Para po sa ating mga Facebook Live viewers, wag po natin kalimutang mag-like, heart, and wow react sa ating webinar dahil nakatitiyak tayo na marami tayong matututunan. O kaya naman mag-react dahil tunay ang ating malasakit para sa mga taong may tuberculosis. Likewise, don't forget to share this live stream on your Facebook account and use the hashtag Webinar Wednesdays. You may also share this to your colleagues, friends, and families para na rin marami tayong magkaroon ng bagong kaalaman. For your questions and inquiries, feel free to use the comment section at asahan po natin na ang ating resource speaker mamaya ay sasagutin ito sa ating Q&A question. And to formally start this webinar episode, I would like to call on Attorney Alvin Bicorada, the Director of DOLE Bureau of Working Conditions, for a short message. Good afternoon po.
Hi, good afternoon, Doc Sheila, and salamat for facilitating today's webinar. We also would like to express our gratitude to our partner, to the Philippine College of Occupational Medicine, to Dr. Bandonil for accommodating this request and joining our effort towards eliminating tuberculosis. Ito pong ating celebration ngayon ay nabanggit na ni Doc Sheila, is an important event because awareness is one of the key intervention to eliminating tuberculosis, particularly po sa ating mga workplaces. As we stand at the intersection of public health and occupational safety, it becomes increasingly vital to recognize that the workplace is not only a space for economic productivity, but also a critical front in our fight against infectious diseases like TB. Ang TB po natin, nabanggit ni Doc Sheila kanina, remains one of the world's deadliest infectious diseases, despite being preventable and curable. The World Health Organization reports that millions still get infected each year, and TB continues to disproportionately affect the working age population. In the context of the workplace, this translates to lost productivity, increased healthcare costs, and most importantly, human suffering that could have been avoided. Awareness is our first line of defense. Kaya po meron tayong mga webinar ngayon na binabahagi po yung kaalaman tungkol sa tuberculosis ng Department of Labor Employment. Educating both employers and employees about the symptoms, modes of transmission, and preventive measures of TB is essential. This acknowledges and empowers individuals to seek timely diagnosis and treatment, reduces stigma, and fosters a culture of openness and support. Awareness campaigns, health screenings, and training initiatives must become integral to workplace policies. We also recognize that awareness alone is not enough. Eliminating TB in workplaces requires a convergence of efforts, an integrated, collaborative approach involving governments, health organizations, employers, labor unions, and civil society. On the part of the employers, they must ensure safe and healthy work environments, implement regular health assessments, and provide access to medical care. The government must enforce regulations and offer support to companies that promote TB-free workplaces. Yung atin naman po mga public health bodies must continue to offer technical guidance and resources for TB control and elimination. It is also crucial to recognize the social determinants of TB. Ito po yung mga poor na ventilation, overcrowding, lack of access to healthcare, and malnutrition, all of which can be present in certain workplace settings and must be addressed through systemic reform and inclusive health policies. Palagi po nating tandaan that a healthy workplace is a productive workforce. When we invest in health, we invest in economic growth, social stability, and human dignity. Eliminating tuberculosis from our workplaces is not merely a medical goal, but a moral imperative and a step towards a safer and more equitable world. Together po, through awareness and unified action, we can consign tuberculosis to history, not just in our communities, but in every factory, office, field, and place of work. Marami pong salamat and we hope you can join us po this afternoon hanggang 3:30 in the afternoon. Maraming salamat, Doc Sheila.
Thank you po, Director Alvin, sa inyo pong message po. And now po, we will proceed to the discussion of our today's topic entitled TB in the Workplace. Dahil ang topic natin ngayon ay nangangailangan ng field expertise, we have with us an esteemed resource speaker. Our speaker for this afternoon is an internist, a diplomate and fellow of the Philippine College of Occupational Medicine. Currently, she is a National Board of Director of the Philippine College of Occupational Medicine from 2024 to present. She is also an OSH practitioner at AdRisk Philippines Incorporated and a board member of the Safety Practitioner Organization, Cordillera Administrative Region. She is also a DOLE OSHC accredited OSH consultant. She is also the past president of PCOM Baguio Benguet chapter from 2020 to 2022, the past vice president from 2019 to 2020, and the past treasurer from 2013 to 2016. She was also awarded as the most outstanding chapter president in 2020 to 2021 and the most outstanding chapter president in 2021 to 2022. Everyone, please welcome Dr. Anne Joanne D. Bandonil, DPCOM FPCOM. Good afternoon po, Dr. Joanne.
Good afternoon, Dr. Faburada, Dr. Sheila. Thank you so much for
po.
the introduction. Good afternoon to Director Attorney Alvin Corrada and to the staff of the Bureau of Working Conditions. So let me just share my slides. Ayan, is it okay?
Yes po.
So shrink ko lang po ito para makita. So a pleasant afternoon po mga ka-safety. So I know it's difficult to keep ourselves awake at this time of the day, but please stay with us. We will try to make this topic more interesting for you. This lecture will not talk about TB as in yung TB na sakit or tuberculosis as relevant to our practice of occupational medicine and in our workplaces. And for your learning outcomes at the end of the lecture, you will be able to first give a brief background of the more important TB legislations in the Philippines, discuss the salient feature of DOLE Department Order 73-05, discuss the elements of workplace TB programs, and provide a COVID-19 perspective in TB discussions. Let's talk a bit about history. Sa mga pinaka-unang legislation sa Pilipinas at organizations na nakipaglaban at tuloy pa rin na nakikipaglaban tuksain ang TB. Mga batas na iisa lang ang layunin. To end TB. Pahapyaw natin ang mga organisasyon at batas ukol sa TB. Taong 1910, the Philippine Islands Anti-TB Society, yung PTS, was founded. This society was established to manage the San Juan de Montes Sanatorium or the San Juan TB Hospital. However, it is said that the organization dated back earlier than 1910 kasi nga TB was a major health concern during the Spanish colonization pa. Sa written mga records nga, 3,300 years ago, nakita ito sa India. And 2,300, ang TB records nila sa China naman. Although the earliest, ang sinasabi nila na may evidence is 9,000 years ago in Israel where archaeologists found TB sa remains ng mga mother and child. So, ang tagal-tagal na nun. And TB have been present in East Africa as early as 3 million years ago. And ito yung and this affected the early hominids, yung mga unang tao noong araw. So, matagal na talaga. Then in 1911, the PTS, yung Philippine Islands Anti-TB Society, admitted its first TB patient at the sanatorium. This was how the sanatorium looked like. And there were several of these hot units in that area. How was TB treated back then? Wala akong anti-pox na gamot during that time. In 1943 pa nagkaroon ng streptomycin. Tapos 1952 pa yung INH, 1970s pa yung rifampicin natin. Ang ginamit nila during those times were the basic principles of hygiene, which includes isolation, fresh air, exercise, and good nutrition na ginagamit pa rin natin ngayon. And eminent physicians supported this remedy for the treatment of more serious forms of the disease for a few decades. So technically, isolation pa rin. Then it opened branches of this sanatorium in Dumaguete, Iloilo, Cebu, and then Zamboanga. Then in 1927, the Philippine Islands Anti-TB Society gained its first diagnostic X-ray machine, yung unit na ito, and opened a free laboratory for sputum testing to the public, and the central clinic started vaccinating newborn babies against TB with the Calmet or the BCG vaccine. In 1935, the society became a major beneficiary of the sweepstakes law, yung Republic Act 4130. So it gets some of its funding dito sa sweepstakes law for it to sustain its advocacy, the PCSO as we know it now. In 1938 naman, the Quezon Institute was founded. It was actually the Santol Sanatorium which was renamed the Quezon Institute in honor of the support of then Philippine President Manuel L. Quezon. But ironically, he died of TB abroad during his exile in 1944. And in the same year, the Philippine Island Anti-TB Society was renamed the Philippine TB Society or yung PTS. In 1942 to 1945, during World War II, the Quezon Institute was occupied by the Japanese forces and turned it into a military hospital. So ginamit nila to during World War II for their own benefit. Yung mga volunteers dito, yung mga healthcare workers, those who chose to stay were allowed to stay, pero those who chose to leave, hinayaan silang umalis, but they were eventually killed. Tapos yung natira dito sa institution na ito, na ginawa nilang military hospital nila, pinatay din eventually. After using them siguro, parang after maximizing yung mga talent ng ating mga workers, yung manpower nila, nagamit nila. And by the end of the war, in 1945, during the liberation, the Americans occupied the Quezon Institute for almost a year and helped repair some of the institute's damaged buildings and augmented medical supplies for rebuilding the structure. In 1960, the PTS was incorporated as the Philippine TB Society Incorporated, the PTSI. And in 1977, the PTSI established the National Institute of Tuberculosis with DOH and the WHO. And the year after, in 1978, the DOH implemented the NTP, the National TB Control Program nationwide. And by 1983, the NIT conducted the first national TB prevalence survey. So nakikita na nila during this time ang importance of record keeping nung nagsasurvey sila. Kasi there's a need dahil nga it's really a concern yung TB during that time. Actually, at the present. Until 1987, the PTSI adopted the DOTS, yung Directly Observed Treatment or DOTS strategy for TB, thus becoming the pioneer for the treatment of TB for the private sectors. Yung DOTS naman, DOTS sa government noong 1996. And it was hailed as the biggest breakthrough of the decade. Kasi nga ang DOTS is Directly Observed Treatment. Nakikita na susupervisan ang mga ginagamot ng mga pasyente. Then in 1994, the PTSI established the Philippine Coalition Against TB, yung naririnig natin na PhilCat, as one of its founding members. And in 1996, the PTSI National Research and Training Center and Central Laboratory was established, which became the leading TB laboratories in the country today. In 1998, PCOM, Philippine College of Occupational Medicine, drafted the National Consensus on TB in the Workplace under the chairmanship of Dr. Ricardo Balagot, our incoming president for the Philippine College of Occupational Medicine, co-chaired by Dr. Teresita Coqueco, also a member of the Philippine College of Occupational Medicine, and the former director of the Occupational Safety and Health Center, and as well as of the Bureau of Working Conditions. And of course, members of the PhilCat contributed to this formulation, drafting of this national consensus on TB in the workplace. This same consensus was used by DOH as reference in crafting the TB Manual of Procedures or yung MOP in 2023. And was also used by DOLE as reference in drafting the Department Order 73-05, yung batas ng TB in the workplace. In 2003, the Executive Order 187 Series of 2003 entitled Instituting a Comprehensive and Unified Policy for Tuberculosis Control in the Philippines was issued. Noong 2005 naman, lumabas ang Department Order DOLE DO 73-05 entitled The Guidelines for the Implementation of Policy Programs on TB Prevention and Control in the Workplace. Then in 2007, PTSI developed a program against multi-drug resistant TB. So, ibig sabihin, as early as 2007, nagkakaroon na rin tayo ng multi-drug resistance against this TB. Kaya nagkaroon rin ng programa dito na para ma-monitor kung sino ang mga patients na nagkakaroon na rin ng drug resistance. In 2008, nagkaroon din ng programa ang PTSI na TB Inclusion Program. Kasi nga, itong mga TB close itong mga nasa jail, yung ating sa mga cells sa prison, it's a closed community, masyadong yung kanilang living conditions is not so good. So, nagkaroon na sila na program on TB in prison program. Then in 2011, the PTSI received its first gene expert machine. Yun ang pinaka-common na narinig yung pa-gene expert mo nga, yung mga nire-request nating laboratories now. And in 2016, Republic Act 10767 was signed into a law, as we shall see later. Then in 2020, the PTSI was appointed by DOH as the COVID-19 testing hub. So it was during this pandemic. So lahat ng mga kaganapan sa higit 100 taon, ito na nagdaan and are geared towards a common goal, which is to end TB pa rin. Now, let's zoom in on Republic Act 10767, one of the most important laws in the Philippines. It was actually history in the making. It started as House Bill number 5042 during the 16th Congress, authored by House Representative Angelina Tan, approved on the third and final reading in October 2014, entitled Comprehensive Tuberculosis Elimination Plan Act. Then it was passed on to the Senate as Senate Bill number 2653 during the 16th Congress, sponsored by Senator Chofisto Gingona and co-authored by Senator Cynthia Villar, approved on third and final reading in January 2016 and eventually signed into a law by then President Benigno Aquino in April 2016. And so we have this law, Republic Act 1067, which is a Comprehensive Tuberculosis Elimination Plan Act, entitled An Act Establishing a Comprehensive Philippine Plan of Action to Eliminate Tuberculosis as a Public Health and appropriating funds therefore. Let me emphasize that Republic Act 10767 is one of the landmark legislation of the Philippines. Para saan ba ang batas na ito? Its purpose is to eliminate TB as a public health problem in the Philippines. The same goal as what the Philippine TB Society Incorporated started on for more than 13 years ago and is still working on it. Imagine 114 years and counting. Nandyan pa rin ang TB. Hindi siya nawawala. Kasama pa rin natin. And so, Republic Act 10767 aims to achieve its purpose of eliminating TB by mandating the development of the following: a comprehensive plan on how to eliminate TB. Yun yung kanyang first mandates. Then, strengthening coordinating committees by giving support to the coordinating bodies. Next is promoting research and education programs. Of course, continuous research is very important because mutation occurs from multi-drug resistant TB to extended drug resistant TB to TB with HIV and now TB with COVID. Then, requiring notification of cases, very important for recording purposes and research. All cases must be recorded and reported mainly because the data gathered are important for analysis. Important to note is the ITIS, the Integrated Tuberculosis Information System of DOH, which is a web-based system and a tool for data collection, processing, reporting, and use of information necessary for improving TB control efforts in the Philippines. Itong ITIS na to was conceptualized in 2011 and pilot tested in 2012 in some areas in the NCR. And it is the official reporting tool of the NTP of the Department of Health. Of course, there's also the expanding PhilHealth benefits, very important. Then, appropriating funds for implementation of projects and programs. Siyempre, how can an organization carry out its advocacy without funding? Hindi naman pwedeng personal money ang gamitin nila. And of course, regulating TB drugs. Making sure that TB drugs are readily available for treatment and with ample supply. Hindi pwedeng ma-interrupt ang treatment ng mga pasyente dahil sa kakulangan ng mga gamot pang TB. Otherwise, doon tayo nagkakaroon ng resistance. Now, what is stated in the Declaration of Policy of Republic Act 10767? Section 2 states that the state is mandated to, first, adopt an integrated and comprehensive approach to health development. Dapat yung pinagsama-samang ideya ng marami at dapat extensive knowledge and information on TB, its prevention, control, and treatment. Secondly, it must support and expand efforts to eliminate TB as a public health problem. Paano gagawin ito? By increasing investments in its prevention, treatment, and control of TB. And thirdly, to adopt a multi-sectoral approach in responding to the disease. Hindi pwedeng health center lang, gobyerno lang, dapat kasama pati private sectors. Yung pinagsama-samang effort ng lahat-lahat ng ahensya or concerned agencies, both from public and private sectors, with a common goal, which is, again, to end TB. Section 4, provision of this Republic Act 10767, which is the establishment of the Comprehensive Philippine Plan of Action, states that the Secretary of the Department of Health is tasked with establishing the Comprehensive Philippine Plan of Action to eliminate TB in consultation with appropriate public and private entities. And this plan of action has 6 components that focus on targets and strategies, prevention, diagnosis, treatment and care and support of patients, development of appropriate technologies to diagnose and treat tuberculosis cases, then strengthen linkages with local and international organizations for partnerships, and review and monitoring system, and of course, the 6th component is the anti-TB services during and after disasters, be it natural or man-made, must be uninterrupted. Section 5 naman is the strengthening of national and regional coordinating committees, the NCC and the RCC. And this states that the Secretary of Health is tasked to bridge collaborative efforts between the public and private sectors, and it must continue to improve the capability of the National and Regional Coordinating Council through the National TB Program Arm. Further, the Secretary of Health is responsible for improving the capacity of these committees in implementing, monitoring, and evaluating the Philippine Plan of Action and coordinating efforts of various sectors. And what about research? Demonstration projects, education and training. The Secretary of Health shall directly or through grants to public or non-profit private entities perform the following activities. First, it should conduct basic and clinical research based on the health and safety agenda to be developed by partners in the academe, health professional groups, pwedeng other local health partners with possible support from foreign organizations. Second, it should develop demonstration projects to generate evidence for responsive policies and develop regional capabilities for the prevention, detection, and control and elimination of TB. These demonstration projects are a way for communities to evaluate the impact of change. It is done to determine whether a specified change in policies or procedures will result in improvement. So parang in a way, namomonitor po kung successful ang kanilang programs. Third will be to conduct nationwide public information campaigns and educational programs, then undertake education, training, and clinical skills improvement activities for healthcare providers. Fifth would be to provide support for model centers to sustain their initiatives, some sort of incentives or recognition to boost their morale. It's nice to be appreciated sometimes, yung na-appreciate yung ating mga efforts sa mga magagandang ginagawa natin. And sixth would be the collaborate with local and foreign organizations for partnerships in various activities and in providing technical and funding support. Section 7 of the Republic Act 10767 mandates the Secretary of Health to strengthen the regional offices in the provision of health services to eliminate TB by undertaking these activities, namely, on your right, provide free laboratory services through DOH-retained hospitals, to provide free anti-TB drugs to patients, ensuring sufficient supplies to local health centers. Third is adopt educational programs to train the public on preventing spread of tuberculosis. Fourth is to enhance capability of health providers, both public and private hospitals. Fifth, to ensure the proper monitoring of tuberculosis cases in the country. And sixth would be to ensure that monitoring services are extended as far as practicable at the lowest local level health unit. The next provision talks about education programs on tuberculosis. In all school levels, medical colleges, nursing, medical technology, and allied health professionals, elementary and high school levels, through coordination with CHED and DepEd by including into their health curriculum the principles and practicing of preventing, detecting, controlling, and management aspects of tuberculosis. Dapat lang na ituro ito kahit sa murang edad pa lamang. Kung yung sex education, tinuturo na. What more for this? As for the media campaign, the Secretary of Health, in coordination with the PIA or yung ating Philippine Information Agency, shall encourage local media outlets to launch a media campaign on TB control, treatment, and management using all forms of media, multimedia, and other electronic means of communication. The media campaign shall include materials that would discourage the public from spitting in public places. Kasi nga, di ba, marami tayo nakikita na dura na lang dura dyan. And exhibiting unhygienic behavior that tends to undermine the overall efforts of preventing widespread of the disease. Dapat effective ang campaign materials. Yung what sells ba? Or what's appealing to the people? Kasi nga ngayon, sa dami-dami ng mga lumalabas sa mga TikTok natin, kung minsan kung ano yung nakikita ng mga kabataan. Section 11, it emphasizes the regulation on sale of TB drugs, with the FDA being mandated to strengthen its implementation of the no prescription, no anti-TB drugs, and to ensure its quality and availability in the market. Section 12, it is the notification of TB cases, and it states that all public and private health centers, hospitals, and facilities shall observe the National Protocol on TB Management and shall notify the Department of Health of all TB cases as prescribed under this manual, the Manual of Procedures of the National TB Program, and the Philippine Plan of Action on Control of Tuberculosis. This is how the Manual of Procedures look like. Ganito po siya, itong yellow book na to. For those who do not yet have a copy, this is still the 6th edition. Downloadable naman po ito. So, meron na pong 7th edition. It is due, may updated na to, and it is due for release anytime soon na po. And all answers to our questions of TB are in this manual. Excuse me. In the past, we have looked at patients as mere recipients of our services. But in these new policies and procedures, we treat patients as active partners in healthcare, capable of making well-informed and appropriate decisions for prompt diagnosis and effective treatment. So parang magkakaroon sila ng autonomy. Excuse me. The contents are focused on policies, yung what to do, the procedures, how to do, and a more detailed explanation of the rationale for the policies and procedures, the why to do it. Nandito po siya sa mga annexes nitong manual na ito. Excuse me. With the rapid advances in TB diagnostics and treatment, itong manual of procedures is expected to be revised more rapidly to cope with new evidence and to be able to to enable the program to offer the most up-to-date evidence-based and feasible and patient-centered alternatives for TB patients. As for the T-Health package, we have case rates for OPD TB DOTS package of 4,000 pesos, which includes consultations, anti-TB medications, and necessary diagnostic services. The revised TB DOTS package is a fixed case payment of 4,000 pesos. Yung 2,500 shall be released upon the end of the intensive phase treatment, and the remaining 1,500 shall be released upon the end of the maintenance phase. So, yung mga slides na ipakita ko sa inyo is just an overview of one of the landmark legislation in the Philippines, yung Republic Act 10767. Dumako naman tayo sa ikalawang legislation, the Executive Order 187 Series of 2003 entitled Instituting a Comprehensive Unified Policy for TB Control in the Philippines. And it states, whereas the national TB NTP of the DOH has made significant advances in improving the quality and extent of its control efforts, whereas the DOH has forged a partnership with the Philippine Coalition Against TB, UNFINCAT, to develop a comprehensive and unified TB control in the Philippines, in collaboration with other government agencies and private sectors to harmonize and unify the TB control efforts in the Philippines. And whereas the Comprehensive and Unified Policy or TB Control in the Philippines, adopting the DOTS strategy, its 5 components of the National TB Program, shall be the basis of implementation of TB control among concerned stakeholders. So talagang hindi natutulog ang gobyerno, ang dami-dami po nito talagang ginagawa para to help us end tuberculosis. And of course, the third legislation na sariling atin, alay natin sa ating mga manggagawa, ang Department Order 73-05, DO 73-05, ang TB in the Workplace entitled Guidelines for the Implementation of Policy Programs on Tuberculosis, Prevention, and Control in the Workplace. Please be reminded sa mga viewers po natin at nakikinig po sa atin that the foregoing slides and statements contain the elements of what should be stated in the TB policy in your companies. You should have this one. First is yung preliminary or yung introduction, which should apply to all establishments, workplaces, work sites in the private sector. It requires all workplaces in the private sector to formulate and implement a TB prevention and control program. So meron pa, magfo-formulate po tayo nito sa ating mga workplace. There has to be one. Ang rationale po dito is TB remains to be a public health problem. So simula pa noon, way back, until now, problema pa rin siya. Second is majority of cases come from economically productive individuals, which is our workers. Sila po ang asset na ating mga companies. And majority of cases, doon nakukuha, doon nakikita. And there are legal basis to implement a workplace program. May batas po tayo. Yung IRR po natin, sinasabi po sa atin na we should have policies in place in our workplaces. Fourth is TB disease has effects on the productivity of the individual, workplace, and the country. Siyempre nga, it's an infectious disease, nakakahawa po siya. At pagka nagkaroon ng TB, if affected ng TB ang isang worker, mag-a-absent ito. At medyo matagal-tagal ang sick leave nito kung tamaan ito ng TB. Kung 3 ang nahawahan niya, ang dami nun. So, maapektuhan po yung productivity. Affected pati yung company. Next, the workplace is an ideal site to implement the TB DOT strategy. Bakit? Ang workplaces po natin is an organized establishment. Organized po yan. Kasi mas madali namang magtawag ng mga workers for a lecture on TB, HIV, hepatitis B in a workplace, drug-free workplace. It is organized kaya mas magandang magtawag. Dahil doon sa mga workplaces, mas madaling i-disseminate yung mga important information on this. Yung sa mga batas na to at sa mga sakit kaugnay ng mga kagaya nito. 6 is having a TB workplace program ensures the sustainability of its implementation. And lastly, the donor partners with the government and private sector for the successful implementation of workplace TB program. So, need talaga natin na magkaroon ng mga batas na ito. Second is yung ating formulation of workplace policies and program on TB prevention and control. Number 1 is it is mandatory for the private sector. Private establishments, workplaces, and work sites to formulate and implement a TB prevention and control policy and program. Hindi lang po policy ang sinasabit dito, and program. Kasi nga, kung policy lang siya, it's just a piece of paper na nakatago sa folder na inaantay na lang natin kung may inspector, ipapakita. Dapat may programa po tayo. So, need talaga natin as OSH champions to formulate policies and programs on TB in the workplaces. Second is formulation of workplace policies and programs which shall be integral to OSH workplace programs. Yung workplace policy and program shall be an integral, meaning necessary or kinakailangan na maging bahagi ng company's OSH programs. The Workplace OSH Committee of which we are part of or which you could be part of shall be responsible for overseeing the implementation of a TB policy and program. Thirdly is formulation of TB policy program and which should be a joint development. Dapat si management at ang labor representatives will jointly develop the workplace policy and program aligned with Executive Order 187 and the CUP. And fourth is the CBA, Collective Bargaining Agreement in Organized Establishment. The workplace policy and program shall, as much as possible, be included as part of the CBA, kung meron. Pero kung hindi man organized, just have the policy and the programs for the benefit of our workers. Next are the components of a TB workplace prevention and control policy and program to be adopted by establishments such as the companies which we serve. It shall include, among others, the following components: preventive, treatment, rehabilitation, compensation, return to work, and social policies. Isa-isahin natin ang mga ito. Under preventive strategies, programs on TB, advocacy, education, and training and measures to improve workplaces shall be carried out in all workplaces by, number 1, information dissemination, which shall include the nature of TB, paano ba nakukuha ang TB, its frequency and transmission, its treatment via DOT center, control and management. Number 2 is DOT strategy, which is a comprehensive approach to control TB, and it has 5 components. First component is political will. At sa isang kumpanya or establishments, kagaya ng ating ginagalawan, yung commitment. A commitment to ensuring a sustained and quality TB treatment and control activities. Sustained. hindi ningas pugon, hanggang simula lang pala. Second is a case detection by sputum smear microscopy among symptomatic patients. So we should know when to request this diagnostic armamentarium, kung kailan natin i-refer sa mga laboratories ang ating mga patients for sputum testings and the like. Third is uninterrupted supply of all essential TB drugs and other materials. Fourth component is the standard short course chemotherapy using regimens of 6 to 8 months for all confirmed active TB cases. Yung smear positive or those validated by TB Diagnostic Committee. And of course, yung fifth po natin is the systematic monitoring and accountability, including standard recording of cases and good record keeping. Still on preventive strategies after information dissemination in the dots. The third is proper information. Workers must be given the proper information on ways to strengthen their immune system, yung immune response nila against the TB infections, like good nutrition, adequate rest, avoidance or cessation of smoking, vaping, alcohol intake, and good personal hygiene practices. Still on preventive strategy is improving workplace conditions. In improving workplace conditions, we shall ensure that contamination from TB airborne particles is controlled, and that workplaces must provide adequate and appropriate ventilation as per DOLE-OSH standards, Rule 1076.01, and there shall be adequate sanitary facilities for our workers. Furthermore, the number of workers in a work area shall not exceed the required number of workers for a specified area and shall observe the standard for space requirement as per OSH Standard Rule 1062. After preventive strategy is the medical management. Department Order 73-05 states that all establishments shall adopt the DOTS in the management of workers and tuberculosis and their dependents. TB case findings, case holdings, and recording of cases shall be in accordance with the CUP and the NTP. Ano ang ating dapat gawin kapag mag-positive sa TB ang ating mga workers o ating manggagawa? Number 1, refer to DOTS Center, kasama ang kanilang mga kamag-anak na nag-positive or yung mga may potential na pag-develop ng tuberculosis. And number 2 is apply the TB benefits policy on ECC, SSS, and PhilHealth. The diagnostic and treatment criteria na nakikita sa Manual of Procedures, yung pinakita nating yellow book kanina, yun po ang ating gagamitin in the current NTP policy, will be adopted as the basis of determining appropriate compensation for such health benefits. The fourth provision is recording, reporting, and setting a database. In compliance with DOLE requirements for reporting illnesses and injuries in the workplace, companies shall report all diagnosed cases of TB to the DOLE using an appropriate form, yung tinatawag natin the Annual Medical Report Form, yung AMR. That is under Occupational Safety and Health Standards Rule 1965.01 and Rule 1053.01. This information shall be part of the TB registry of the DOH. SSS, on the other hand, shall report members who applied for disability benefit for TB sa PhilCat. So, importante yung PhilCat din natin for monitoring. As for social policy on tuberculosis in the workplace, first, there shall be no discrimination. Workers who have or had TB shall not be discriminated against. Instead, he shall be supported with adequate diagnosis and treatment and shall be entitled to work for as long as they are certified by the company accredited health provider as medically fit and shall be restored to work as soon as their illness is controlled. Second, work accommodation and restoration to work. Through agreements made between the management and workers, work accommodation measures to accommodate and support workers with TB are encouraged through flexible leave arrangement, rescheduling of working times, and arrangements for return to work, where the worker may be allowed to return to work with reasonable arrangements as determined by the company healthcare provider and or the DOTS provider. Next is confidentiality. Very important. We do not want to embarrass anybody. Baka makasuhan pa tayo ng violation ng DPA, Data Privacy Act. We need to preserve authorized restrictions on access and disclosures, including means of protecting personal privacy and propriety. Just think of it this way na lang. You will not like the feeling when you are at the receiving end of breaching your confidentiality. Ayaw nating mangyari sa atin yun. So let us respect each other's privacy. As for the roles and responsibilities of workers with TB or risk for TB, dito naman, ang mga manggagawa na may sintomas ng TB ay dapat magpakonsulta agad-agad sa kanilang health services provider, including their relatives, ideally. Kasi nga, nakakahawa ang sakit na ito. Once diagnosed, they shall avail of the DOTS and adhere to the prescribed course of treatment. Dati-dati po, sa mga clinics namin, nung wala pa itong DOTS na to, DOT Center, kami ang nanggagamot sa mga clinics namin. Pero nung nagkaroon na ng DOT Center, nire-refer na po namin sila doon sa DOT Center kasi nga libre ang gamutan at namomonitor pa sila ng maayos. So, dapat, once na sinimulan ang gamutan, nararapat lamang na tapusin at kumpletuhin ang pag-inom upang maiwasan ang drug resistance. There has to be a commitment on the part of the patient. Otherwise, huwag na lang sisimulan ang gamutan kung hindi rin lang tatapusin. Lalo na medyo matagal ang gamutan ng TB. What about the rules and responsibilities of employers naman? Any contact in the workplace shall be traced and the contact shall be clinically addressed. In the context of CSR, the OSH-related programs, employers are encouraged to extend yung TB program nila to the workers' families and their respective communities. Mas maganda po. Then, for assistance or the implementation and monitoring of the TB policy, the OSH preventive and technical assistance in the implementation of the workplace TB program at the enterprise or establishment level. The Bureau of Working Conditions and the DOLE Regional Office, through their labor inspectors, shall enforce these guidelines following the labor standards enforcement framework, and all employers shall disseminate these guidelines in their respective workplaces. Hindi tayo lang nakakaalam. Dapat matutunan din nila ito kasi we need them also to end this TB. Walang silbi yung policy kung wala ng programa. Papel lang ito. So make programs, pwedeng lecture, visual aid campaigns, etc. para matutunan ng mga workers. Para masagot yung ano, bakit, at paano. So, to summarize yung mga kanina na dapat lalabas sa mga policies po natin, sa workplace policies po natin, if you happen to be part of the OSH committee or HR of a certain establishment, these are the elements of a workplace program. The outline of the basic OSH policies programs. So let's just do a quick rundown on this. So first is yung introduction. Why have a TB policy sa workplace ninyo? So ilalagay niyo po yun. Then yung coverage. Sino ang gusto niyo? Workers lang ba? Better kung i-extend niyo po sa families po nila. And of course, yung components ng inyong policy and program. Advocacy, information, education, and training. So, dapat, pag sinabing advocacy, tuloy-tuloy, talagang we serve with a passion. Tapos yung information, we provide information sa ating mga workers, we educate them. At kung kailangan magkaroon ng training, we train them. Next is yung preventive strategies, the house. Paano ba mapiprevent ang TB sa workplaces natin? And of course, yung social policies, the non-discriminatory policy and practices, the confidentiality, new work accommodation and arrangements, and of course, yung health aspects, the screening and diagnosis, the treatment, which is optional for the private clinic siguro or sa clinics. Otherwise, nire-refer po kasi sila sa dot center. Then, six is yung benefits and compensation. Ano ba ang makukuha nila kung naapektuhan sila ng TB? Hindi naman natin in-encourage na, sige, okay lang na magka-TB kasi may makukuha kayo sa ECC or sa SSS. Hindi naman yon. Kundi we educate them at binibigay lang naman natin sa kanila yung ganang kanila, yung kanilang karapatan. So, pagka nagle-lecture ako ng TB in the workplace sa company, sinasabi ko naman, meron kayong sa ECC, you have this total amount of sick leave na pwede niyong i-avail, plus meron kayong makukuha compensation, ganito ang amount niya, ganyan-ganyan. Pag tinanong ko, gusto niyo magka-TB? Of course, sasabihin na ayaw namin kahit meron pang makukuha dyan. So, preventive pa rin. And then, of course, yung roles and responsibilities of the workers and the employers, ilagay po natin sa ating policies, and program implementation and monitoring, how we are going to monitor kung effective ba itong policies natin, how frequent should we monitor itong mga policies na ginawa natin. It's just, ginawa natin itong policy, that was 10 years ago. So, dapat ina-update din po natin ang policy. And of course, it has yung effectivity date po nito, dapat after nung sinay ng ating manager. Then, we have some COVID perspective in TB. The impact of COVID-19 pandemic on TB is multifaceted. Ang health resources natin have been diverted to combat the new threat back then, disrupting TB diagnosis, treatment, and control efforts. As a result of the shift, tuberculosis surveillance, especially in urban centers where COVID-19 was rampant, was halted or stopped. Yung COVID-19 TB is a dual burden. TB has a longer incubation period with a slower onset of disease. While experience on COVID-19 infection in TB patients remains limited, it is anticipated that people ill with both TB na and COVID pa may have poor treatment outcomes, especially if TB treatment is interrupted, just like what happened during the lockdown. So kasi nga, ang TB is a pulmonary disease. Ang COVID-19, airborne, ang complication nito sa lungs po natin is pulmonary fibrosis, which is also detrimental. So, lockdowns, travel restrictions, and reduced access to healthcare facilities may have impeded TB case findings and hindered timely diagnosis during this pandemic. Kasi nga, kahit na gusto nilang pumunta para kumuha ng supply ng gamot nila sa dot center, lockdown. So, kahit makalabas sila, yung pupuntahan nila, naka-lockdown. So, nagkaroon ng interruption kanilang treatment. And we all know that the Philippines is the fourth largest contributor to the number of cases worldwide ng TB. With 500 people affected per 100,000. Ang dami po nun. And during the pandemic, there was a 78.7 decrease in TB notification and 170% TB deaths. Ang taas nun. And now natapos na ang pandemic, the government and we in our workplaces should do our part to put an end to TB. Just a situationer on TB, although nabanggit na rin po kanina ni Doktora, na situationer by the WHO in 2023, 1.25 million people died of TB in 2023, including 161,000 people living with HIV and TB. And worldwide, TB has probably returned to being the world's leading cause of death from a single infectious agent following 3 years in which yung corona hinawakan ni COVID-19. Ngayon, siya na naman, ma-regain niya. And global efforts to combat TB have saved an estimated 79 million lives since the year 2000. And tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang efforts ng ating gobyerno. So what ang role natin dito ay tulungan natin ang gobyerno na ma-achieve ang goal na ito, which is to end TB. Hindi naman ito para sa kanila lang. It is for everybody and it is for all of us, including us, of course. Pwede naman po tayong mahawakan ng tuberculosis. So I guess that's my last slide. Thank you for being wonderful listeners. Back to you po.
Thank you very much po, Doc Ann, for the comprehensive and insightful discussion po on TB in the workplace po. Sigurado po ako marami pong natutunan ng ating mga viewers kasi kahit ako po marami rin po akong natutunan at na-update ang kaalaman tungkol sa TB. So ngayon po, tayo po ay mag-question and answer na po. Sasagutin po ng ating resource speaker ang mga katanungan po ninyo, ano po, at sa mga may pahabol po na mga katanungan, pwede pa rin po ninyong i-type sa ating comment section ng mga katanungan po nila. First po, ang question number 1 po, Doc, is how do we avail po of the DOTS services?
DOTS services, may mga DOTS centers po tayo. Kadalasan naka-attach po sila sa mga hospitals po natin. Pag pupunta po kayo sa DOTS center, usually bago, like, I'm a clinician, I'm also an internist. So pagka meron po akong by chest x-ray, by physical examination, by chest x-ray, TB ang suspect, tapos nun sa chest x-ray niya, confirm na TB, Papa-gene expert muna yon. Kompleto, bago kami nagre-refer sa DOTS center, dapat kompleto, para hindi pabalik-balik yung pasyente sa amin. So, once na nag-positive po siya sa gene expert, nire-refer po namin sila sa DOTS center na nearest them, yun accessible to them. May mga DOTS center. And sa doon po sa DOTS center, i-assess po ulit sila. They have an in-house pulmonologist there. Then, ipro-provide na po nila yung mga supply ng mga gamot sa kanila. So, may marami po tayong DOTS centers scattered sa mga places po natin. We are well provided po. All medicines will be free. Doon po. Ample supply. Kasi medyo matagal-tagal din na treatment yun. 6 months. 6 to 8 months.
Thank you po, Doc. At saka i-ano ko lang po, ipasa ko lang rin po yung labor advisory ng DOLE po na labor advisory number 21 po, series of 2023. Doon po nakapalagay po doon kung saan po yung mga accredited hospitals po yung appendix natin doon. Makikita po ng ating mga employers or ng HR or ng OSH committee. Pwede po ninyong malaman kung saan po pinakamalapit si manggagawa na nakitaan po ng positive sa TB, sa ano niya po, x-ray niya pag may APE po. Next po ay how can we prevent the spread of tuberculosis in the workplace po daw, Doc? Paano daw po nakakahawa ang sakit na TB?
Sa workplaces po, the best thing is, alam niyo, after itong COVID na to, maraming itinuro sa atin. Nung nagkaroon po tayo ng COVID, nagkaroon tayo ng isolation unit sa ating mga companies. So sa amin, sa company po namin, nagkaroon kami ng isolation unit, lahat ng suspect na nakakahawa, doon sila magpapacheck up sa isolation unit. Iba yung dirty clinic sa clean clinic. Yung mga sa clean clinic, sila yung mga hypertension, sakit sa puso, diabetes, dyan sine-check up. Pero sa isolation clinic, doon yung mga may lagnat, may ubo, may sipon, yung mga nakakahawa. So, in a way, yung spread, halimbawa ng kung ano man nakakahawa yan, be it TB or not TB, doon pa lang na-isolate na sila. So kung halimbawa suspect natin, TB ito, hindi na siya pinagsususpetsya na natin na TB itong pasyente na to, hindi na natin siya isasama sa general population ng mga other workers. So in a way, pagka na-diagnose na sila, i-isolate na natin sila na, huwag ka muna papasok, dito ka muna, hanggat wala kang clearance, hindi ka papasok. So that's one way of preventing the spread of TB. Another is face mask. Hindi mo wala talaga ang face mask sa atin eh. Mas maganda na maging part na natin ng ating kasuotan, PPE, ang face mask. Kasi maraming na-prevent ang face mask. Provided tama at wasto ang paggamit natin na ang nakatakip talaga is including the nose. Hindi lang yung nandito lang siya. Yun. So makakatulong din yun. Paano ba nakakahawa ang sakit na TB? Airborne po ito. So, you will not know kung ikaw ay may TB. Dati, may mga pagpayat ka, may afternoon fevers, or night sweats, mga ganyan. Uy, may TB ito. Payat ito, hindi tumatawa. Payat, may TB ito. Hindi. Nakakita na rin po ako na positive ang chest x-ray, positive ang gene expert, pero mataba. So, ibig sabihin, pati sila pwedeng mahawahan. So, paano nakakawa? Airborne po siya. Kunwari, ako, may TB ako, kausap kita. Tapos ang talsik laway, aerosol. Tapos, ang baba ng immune system mo, nagda-diet ka, siguro nag-intermittent ka, nag-keto diet ka dyan, merong once a day ka lang kumain dahil gustong pumayat, yung immune system mo bababa. It's easier for you to become infected ng tuberculosis. Kasi halimbawa ako, ubo ako ng ubo. Hindi ko rin alam, hindi ako nagpapa-x-ray kung may TB ba ako o hindi. Without you knowing, pwede po kayong hawahan. And without you knowing, sa akin mo pala nakuha. Yan. So, the first thing you do pagka ang ubo nyo is masyado ng matagal. Uy, iba na tong ubo na to. Nalalaman na iba na. Pumapayat ka na. Magpa-check up na po kayo agad-agad. Don't wait na magkaroon ng cavitary lesions yung chest x-ray nyo na butas na siya o dumudura ka na ng dugo bago ka magpa-check up. Earlier, kasi preventive sa occupational safety and health, we are preventive. We do not wait for a disease to happen. Kuminsan nga, mga patients, sinasabi ko, mamili ka, gagamutin ko yung stroke mo o yung high blood mo. Iinom ka ba o hindi? Huwag natin aantayin na magkaroon ng complication. As early as yung meron ka palang symptoms, agapan natin kaagad. The earlier minimal tuberculosis or papunta pa lang doon, naaagapan na po siya. So that's one way of preventing the spread of tuberculosis in the workplace. Iba pa po yung mga engineering controls, ha? Engineering controls po, yung mga social distancing sa ating workplaces, hindi pwedeng crowded, or yung may mga barriers, doon po, yun na po ang gamit ng mga ito. Engineering controls, administrative controls. If we say administrative controls, ito po yung mga policies ng company para sa atin. We should obey. We should comply. Susundin po natin ito. They are there. And of course, yung PPE natin. Gamitin natin yung PPE na pinoprovide sa atin ng ating company. And of course, be worried. Attend webinars such as this one. Kasi nakakatulong po ito to disseminate this kind of information para sa ating mga manggagawa. I hope I answered your question.
Yes po. Thank you po for that wonderful answer po. Sobra pong comprehensive at direct to the point po talaga yung sagot. And sana po na intindahan po ng ating mga viewers yung sinagot po ni Doktora. Next po is number 3. Can we terminate po ba ang isang empleyado po na na-diagnose po na meron pong TB?
Nako, that is a big no-no. Yung sinasabi natin na we should not discriminate against workers na magkakaroon ng TB. Kasi ang TB, nagagamot po siya. Halimbawa po, sa isang company, annual physical exam, or kahit hindi annual physical exam, sabihin mo na casual na nagpa-check up, nagkataon nagpa-chest x-ray tayo, tapos, may suspicious, pa-request ka pa ng other views, yung apicogram. So, nag-request tayo ng apicogram. Tapos, di talagang TB talaga lumalabas. Sige, magpa-gene expert ka. After na magkakaroon ng gene expert at nag-positive, refer to dot center, di TB na yon. So, ang gagawin po namin, pinagsisick leave na po namin yung pasyente. And as per ECC, ang sick leave po ng pasyente or worker na may TB ay 1 month. 30 days po siya. After 30 days, evaluate ulit kung pwede na siya mag-fit to work. That is both sa SSS at saka sa ECC. Bawal na bawal po na mag-terminate. Violation po yan ng karapatan ng workers. Kasi ang TB, nagagamot. It is treatable. Hindi ho pwedeng basta tanggalin mo na lang sa trabaho. That's a big no-no. Abogado ang kailangan.
Thank you po, Doc. For our next question. Number 4 po ay, ilang days po ang SL ng PTB? Ayun po, medyo nasagot na po ata ni Doktora.
Sa amin po mga clinicians, kunwari may TB, kadalasan pag pinaggamot namin sila ng 1 week or 2 weeks, actually, pwede na silang makihalubilo eh. Ideally, pwede silang pumasok eh. Ideally. Pero, because this is a workplace, ang sick leave po nila is 30 days. ECC is 30 days. SSS is 30 days. Kahit magaling na, Doc, naka 3 weeks na ako, Doc, wala na akong nararamdaman. 30 days talaga. I-consume natin yung 30 days. Anyway, paid naman po siya eh. We must remember na kami pong mga OSH physicians, hindi lang pasyente or worker ang hawak namin. Parang pati yung buong factory, pasyente namin. As much as possible, ayaw namin na may mahawa sa mga workers. Kasi chain reaction, ang dami yan. Parang pyramiding yan eh. Kakalat, isa lang magsimula yan, maraming mahahawahan yan. So, it's 30 days. Sa ating mga work area, that's 30 days po.
Okay, thank you po. Number 5 po, Doc, is bakit meron pong 2 weeks na gamutan ang binibigyan na po ng fit to work?
Fit to work sa aming halimbawa, mga internist, 2 weeks, ganun talaga. Kasi kung minsan pag nag-clear kami ng pasyente na may TB na for OR, 1 week lang, pwede na yan, pwede na yan. Pero kasi kami, fortunately, na-absorb din ako ng industrial medicine, occupational medicine. So na-train din ako on occupational medicine. Iba po. Ang last say sa isang company, kahit i-clear pa yan ng outside ng private doctor mo, sa amin, it's 30 days. You are entitled to that 30 days kasi nga ECC. Bakit ka papasok ng bayad naman yung 30 days mo. Iko-compensate ka naman ni ECC at ni SSS sa 30 days mo. That's 2 in 1 sakit. So, bakit ka papasok? So, that's 30 days po siya. It's really 30 days. Yung 2 weeks, ideally, clinically sa aming mga internists, pero as occupational physician, it's 30 days. Susundin, siguro kung sarili niya lang yan, okay na si 2 weeks, pero papasok po kasi kayo sa company. We are not only protecting you, we are protecting your co-workers and we are protecting the whole organization or the whole establishment. So it's 1 month, 30 days.
Okay po, Doc. Noted po dyan po. And number 6 po is, maaari po bang makabalik sa trabaho ang empleyado na may TB? Relapse case po ng TB, is it possible po bang makabalik pa po?
It's treatable naman po. Ang TB is treatable. Magagamot po siya. Yung relapse, possible po siya. Lalo na kung halimbawa hindi mag-iingat sa katawan. Halimbawa, ang daming bisyo, ayaw tigilan talaga ang sigarilyo, mamimiloso po pa. Hindi na ako naninigarilyo, nagve-vape na lang ako. Yung mga ganyan ba? At saka yung mga pinag-face mask mo dahil exposure na sa dust. Like example sa mga garment factories na may mga sinulid or sa mining and construction industry. Ayaw magsuot ng PPE. Yung tamang PPE, hindi t-shirt. Yung mga hindi t-shirt ang PPE. That's not a PPE. T-shirt po yun. Pang-protect ng katawan, hindi parang dito yon. So, possible po talaga na magkaroon ng relapse ng case ng TB, lalo na kung hindi nyo kukumplituhin yung treatment plan. Pag sinabing 6 months, 6 months siya kahit wala na kayong nararamdaman. So, 6 months is 6 months. And makakabalik po kayo sa work. Kasi treatable po yan. O, after 30 days, kung okay naman na, pwede naman kayong bumalik na sa work. Finifit to work na po namin yung mga ganun. Kaya lang with special instructions na please wear your face mask regularly. Tsaka follow-up. Inaalagaan. Binabantay-bantayan din po namin sila sa workplaces. Follow up namin. So, okay po. Makakabalik po sa work.
Okay po. That would be our final question po, Doc. Maraming salamat po sa mga nagpadala ng questions. At kung may mga tanong pa po kayo na hindi namin nasagot, rest assured po na ang aming social media team po ay sasagutin ng inyong inquiries mamaya. Once again, thank you po, Doc Ann Bandonil, for sharing your expertise on our topic for today. Meron po kaya kayong mga final words or thoughts po that you would like to leave our Facebook Live viewers?
Yeah, since I'm an OSH physician, ang iaano ko lang sa inyo, lalo na if you are part of management sa company, please do have an OSH committee. The OSH committee, ang mag-chair po nito is yung general manager po ninyo. Ang secretary is always the safety officer. Dapat may OSH physicians po kayo. May OSH on-up nurse po kayo. At saka may mga first aiders kayo. At saka members na mga sa inyong mga workers. Itong OSH committee po na to, ang role po nila is they come up with policies and programs tungkol sa mga sakit na ganito, mga preventable, like TB in the workplace, HIV in the workplace, hepatitis B in the workplace, yung ating drug-free workplace, including mental health, kasama po siya. Ako, sinasama ko na po yung tetanus in the workplace. Kasi nga, yung sinasama ko na rin siya. Kahit wala pa siya sa mga department orders, sinasama ko na rin po siya. And please do monitor yung mga policies na to na ito ay gumagalaw, hindi papel lang na nasa shelf na nag-aantay ng inspector na pag dumating si Dole, asan ito? Eto, very proud ka, pero wala namang programa. There has to be a program at saka palagi nyo silang binabantayan, minomonitor nyo yung programa nyo na it's still working at saka implementable pa siya sa present times. Kasi napapansin natin, nag-iiba rin ang mga workers. Yung mga workers noon, nag-iiba na rin ang kanilang mindset. Ngayon, yung mga tinatawag na nga, may millennials, may Gen Z na, yung mga ganyan. Mga boomers, palabas na eh. Mga boomers, patapos na yan, pa-exit na. So, ito na yung mga bago. Mga Gen Z, millennials, mga ganon. Nagbabago. So, nag-a-adapt po with changing times. Pero dapat mas maging mahigpit tayo when it comes to implementation ng mga policies. Lalo na pag pinag-uutos ito ng batas. Hindi tayo matatakot na, mag-i-inspect si Dole, nandiyan na. Hindi. Mas maganda po yung may policy kayo in place para anytime na mag-i-inspect si Dole, nandyan lang siya. Kasi ang Dole can come anytime eh. They can inspect anytime kung meron tayo nito. Kung takot pala kayo sa mga penalties, di gawin nyo na para anytime they can come, may compliance naman eh. So, yun lang. Please comply. Let us all comply. And report our cases. Important. Pag tayo maglilihim na may ganito palang cases doon, may TB pala doon. Hindi ganun yun. Hindi kawalan po sa ating company kung meron, kasi it happens eh. Kung minsan it's not sa company naman nakuha, sa community na idadalhin doon sa loob ng company. So I guess that's...
Maraming salamat po, Doc Ann. Pasensya na po kung may naririnig kayong bell, may fire drill po sa amin in relation po sa fire month po. Ayun po, inaanyayahan po namin kayong lahat po sa 10th episode ng Webinar Wednesday sa April 3, 2025 po. Thank you again po, Dr. Ann Bandonil. Maraming salamat po. And, bye pa, Doc. And sa episode po na ito, talakayin natin ang Department Order Number 248, Series of 2025, New Rules and Regulations on the Employment of Foreign Nationals in the Philippines. Alamin po natin yung mga mahahalagang pagbabago, kinakailangang dokumento, at mga responsibilidad po ng mga employer at foreign workers po sa ilalim ng bagong regulasyon. Wag po nating palampasin ng pagkakataong ito upang manatiling updated at sumunod sa batas. If you have further questions, you may send us an email sa ask@bwc.dole.gov.ph or you may call the Dole Hotline 1349. Also, please follow our official Facebook page, Facebook channel, YouTube Viber channel, and Twitter account, DoleBWC1949 para po maging updated kayo sa iba't ibang issuances, announcement, at activities na inilalabas ng BWC at ng Dole. And that concludes our webinar for today. I believe that it has been a very productive day dahil napakarami po nating natutunan sa ating speaker. And again, thank you po for joining us this afternoon and we hope to see you again next episode. Let us all protect our workers from TB para ligtas, malakas at produktibo tayong lahat. Yes, to a TB-free workplace. Ingat po and God bless us all. Once again, I am Dr. Sheila Fortin Faborada, your host for today's Webinar Wednesday episode. Now signing off. Thank you po.
Para sa mga katanungan at karagdagang informasyon, maaari po tayong tumawag sa Dole Hotline 1349 o sumuni sa mga Dole Regional Field Office na nakakasakop sa inyong lugar paggawa.